Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 5,000 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 5,000. Enjoy.
And just like that, they buy it. They eat it up. You pander to them, you thank them. I mean, really, people, I thought you were a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's just so easy to say the name of the city. You cheer.
Hey, Stephanie,
you cheer. I mean, just come on.
Welcome to the A Show.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the 59th episode of the A Show. We are the kings of pro wrestling podcast. I am Justin with my man Meelz. What's going on, Meelz?
Nothing. Really nothing. It's just whatever.
Wow. What happened? What do you sound
nothing.
like that?
I don't know. It's nothing. It's just nothing. Nothing's going on. Preparing for the end of the year with a bunch of stuff that we're doing. My brain is in like 40 places at once. So maybe I wouldn't say nothing, but like nothing I would like to talk about currently.
Okay.
I would say that. I like keeping things under wraps and keeping things as surprises when I figured them all out. Because some things may not happen when they're supposed to happen. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Like there's about 3 different things I'm doing right now. I'm trying to figure out things. I'm trying to figure out my life for 2019 as we have about 26 days left in this year.
Scary.
Yeah, it's very wild. I'm trying to figure stuff out. I'm trying to at least like write some stuff down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I want to go in my life right now. I want to write some stuff down. I want to make some plans. I want to get prepared for the new year because I'm not going to say 2019 is going to be my year. I'm not going to say that because that's corny, of course. I'm going to say there will definitely be change and I will make sure of it 100%.
Wow, that's very cryptic. Are you waiting in the grassy knoll to kill me? Like
no,
I'm afraid.
No, come on.
I'm very afraid of
this is about self-progress. This is about self-progress and progression and stuff like that. Like I might cut my hair. Who knows?
What? You can't cut the hair.
It's not that much hair. It's not that much hair.
You can't cut the hair, the Meelz hair. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of things going on, but we do want to keep you guys up to date on whatever is going on. Our year-end episode, we decided on that last week, right? We said that it was going to be the 20th and the 27th. So yes. We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to prepare for that. It's going to be really huge shows. I'm afraid because usually when we do this, like we did for A Show 50, we did it for another episode. Like I get really anxious around this time because it's like, what if people say no? What if people don't want to do it?
I don't think people say no. Well, all right. So I think, you know what? I'm not as pressed when people say no. Like I talked to you earlier in the week about trying to invite someone on The Lookout. because we're going to try to get at least one more episode in, maybe two before the year's over, but we're going to try to definitely get one more episode in. So I contacted, this gentleman that I would love to interview. Have not heard from them at all.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty cool with it because I'm like, you know what? Me and Jeff got this. Like, I'm confident enough in ourselves that even though, and the same for the show, that even if someone would just be like, nah, I'm not down to do it, even though they would be dumb not to do it. Like, they would be dumb. Mm-hmm. Like, I would make sure they kick themselves in 2019 or 2020. I would make sure of it. I would go out my way to make sure of it. But even though so, man, we got this. We have the resources. We got plenty of cool people in our Rolodex for the A show. So
absolutely, and some returning guests too. Return. So I'm very excited, very very excited about that. One thing I just want to stop the show and say, congratulations to Cliff Skywalker on the premiere of his new show, his new digital show, Insta Chef, that premiered today, as in the day that we're recording this. It premiered today on Thrillist. I've been crying all week, or not all week, but all day about this. Like, this is I'm so proud of him, man. So proud.
It's all cool new ventures for a lot of different people here, man. It's like, it's amazing. It's especially from, Cliff is the chef, obviously. Like, the man has been cooking on the internet for God knows how long. And the fact that they've decided now to take his genius, take his creativity, take his originality and everything that comes with Cliff, because there's a lot that comes with Cliff. There's a lot of discussions we have had with him, an entire corner, all this other things, and just make that and trust him to have that show. And I think he's earned it, man. He's been doing this for a long time, man. And the fact that you're able to do something you actually love, get paid for it, and get paid to travel and all this other stuff. Like, I haven't seen the first episode yet, but I can't wait to see it. Like,
tremendous. It is so him. Like, it really is so him. And I really literally can remember him saying, like, I don't know if people will receive it the way that I want it to. I don't know if it'll if it will run. And I'm like, dog, you are one of the most genuine, like everything, even when he says like nasty shit, it's him, right. Like it is so him. And I'm like, you're going to kill this shit. And when I see it, I couldn't help but smile because it is him, man. And the utmost amount of love and respect to Cliff Skywalker, my man. He did it, and that's a big win for him. Personally, and in a lot of ways, like all of RNC, we love you, and keep on doing that shit. So, are you ready to get into the show?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I really am. Like,
we got to start the show. Like, we go from joys to tragedy on No Hold Barred. Unfortunately, the Dynamite Kid passed away today. Very, very sad day in wrestling. Have you ever seen a Dynamite Kid match?
I think I've seen one. I felt like I've seen. Let me actually Google it to see if I've seen it or not, or maybe if it was that or a Chris Benoit match. Yes, I did see Dynamite Kid versus Tiger Mask. Then
yes, one of the greatest matches of all time. So
yeah, I definitely saw that back in my like mid 2000s era, where it's just like I only watch real wrestling. I don't watch like meh. And I would like go back and like look at I would like I said before, ROH. I would go back and watch old matches. I would go back and like study a lot of things. Man, the tape reel goes long. I used to burn all these matches on like disc. Yeah. Like it's DVDs and just watch them later and stuff like that. Like I'm real with this, but RIP to Dynamite Kid, 90 years old.
No, not 90, 60.
60 years old? Yeah, whoa. 60. All right,
I fucked up. I was typing fast.
You sure did. God damn. All right, well, you know what?
It was 60.
Good life. It's still a good life. 90 or 60.
It's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. I was typing fast because I was trying to get out of work and I had to do the run sheet and I put 90, but it's really 60.
Listen, 90 years.
We're not laughing at his passing away. I'm laughing at my gaffe.
Listen, 90 or 60. Influential nonetheless. Yeah.
And there's so many people that have been compared to him. The obvious is, he shall not be named, even though you named him two minutes ago. Even down to like people like, I look at a lot of people like Daniel Bryan to be heir apparents to him, to people who have kind of used his style of wrestling. Like ROH Daniel Bryan was pretty much Dynamite Kid,
right?
And I think a lot of people have extended, like even like Roderick Strong has kind of like glimpses of him. Davey Richards is like pretty much Dynamite, the indie Dynamite Kid. You know, he was doing all his Dynamite Kid shit back in the day. I think there was a point where like Davey Richards would like do a Chris Benoit bit after Chris Benoit did that shit that he did on the indies. And I was like, Davey Richards is trying way too hard, but that's neither here nor there. Dynamite Kid is just one of the most influential wrestlers probably of all time. I think a lot of wrestlers, you know, of that size are very influenced by what he did, and
a lot of wrestlers today, honestly.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest, and it's a huge, again, another huge blow. Like we're losing a lot of our heroes here, and it's really sad.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, man. It really, really is.
But one thing we get even more depressing. Raw and SmackDown ratings are down.
Man, football season.
It's a new low.
It's just going to keep getting lower. I feel like this time next year, we're going to say hit new low, because at this point, it's like it's football season on in the throw of things. The television hasn't been as great. They don't have the sort of major attraction stars that they probably should have at this point. And I don't think they want to necessarily waste them on shows going against football. Like I felt like we've seen this tactic before in general years before, with like even with like Triple H or something. Triple H would not show up until the day after the Super Bowl. He would not show up on television until the day after Super Bowl. As much as like ratings are in the dirt, we need something to pop. It was just like, this is the low period of the WWE. It's always that late fall into winter, right before the Rumble, but it's, you know, still not before TLC. And it's just that low. And
people are trying to make it more than they're trying to make it a lot like of a bigger issue. Yes, Raw is terrible.
I feel like that, but that's been happening for like 15 years. Like ratings have you realized what ratings were in 2000 and how ratings are now? Just general television ratings and just WWE's rating. Yes, is going to continue to decline. People are not pulling. You're not pulling 3.4s anymore. You're not having 7.5 million viewers. People aren't even watching television like that. People aren't even watching Raw like that. So it's kind of
according to reports, they say the first hour dragged viewership down. And I would have to say that I see that, because the first hour of Raw really wasn't compelling whatsoever.
No, every time they start with Baron Corbin, it's I'm sure. Yeah, Baron Corbin loves the thrill of it, I'm sure. I mean, he had a conversation with Booker T on Heated Conversations where he's very grateful to have the first 15 minutes of Raw. He's like, people like John Cena and Roman Reigns, you know, have had that moment, but I don't really think it's necessarily working out in terms of drawing viewership.
Yes, the first
or sustaining it, rather.
Both the second and third hours this week were above last week, but the difference was the first hour drop from 2.61 million to 2.26 million this week. It's the fourth lowest number in modern history. Yeah, it's football.
Yeah, it's football. I think it's football. I don't know if it's NBA, but that is on as well. There's a lot of things just in this way. Television is just, I think the general quality of television, even though people are definitely watching stuff on like Hulu, as me now, as a person who is now a Hulu subscriber because it's 99 cents per month.
Fire.
It's just, yeah, easily fire. So it's just like people are watching that now. I think a lot of the problems stem from, it's just the complacency of it, the lack of stars. I think,
and nothing kicks into high gear until January.
Yeah. I also think, I mean, SmackDown did it this week, but I also think there's no thread between the weeks. Yes, we can hear you eating, J5.
No, I had to get a gummy bear. I love it.
I think there's no thread between the shows. Like a soap opera, it ends and we're wondering what's going on, what's going to happen in the next show. When Raw ends, it ends. And that is it.
That's how it ended this week. It was like, it just ends with like them in the ring, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, when Raw ends, it just ends, and it's just that, and there's no like, you know, something to hang on until like, oh my god, I remember watching Raws in the 90s and early 2000s, and I would legitimately be angry because SmackDown hadn't existed yet, and I would have to wait 7 days to watch the next episode of Raw. There's really no hanger. I mean, SmackDown did it this week, kind of, when they announced that, next week we're going to get Charlotte versus Asuka, which is a big match. It's a WrestleMania rematch. But Raw is just, things happen, and then they just happen, and then it's just like, I guess it exists in the space of that week and doesn't exist. The next week is kind of like shuffling it back again.
So you're saying the big problem is that there's no connective tissue between what happens. It feels as though it just kind of, things happen on Raw and they barely ever connect to what happened last week.
I mean, it's not that they don't connect. They do connect, but there's no cliffhanger. There's nothing to make me interested in seeing Raw the following week. Like, there isn't any, like,
a car exploding or Vince McMahon dying.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm not asking for that every week, but I'm asking, like, we have so-and-so in the ring. Like, we have, I don't want to fantasy book again, even though great response to my fantasy booking last week. I'll be honest with you.
How'd that make you feel when you
It made me feel good. It made me feel good. And for everyone asking if I'll do it every week, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's I'll take it on a week by week basis. But I just feel like the end of Raw should be leading into something the following week.
I can't say that the viewers are exactly like clamoring for that. I think that there is no star. There isn't like. Without Roman Reigns and, I don't know what they're going to do with Seth, but it's like without those people, holding it down, no Brock or anybody there, like there's really nothing for people to watch in that first hour. The second hour, they'll be like, this football game's a blowout.
It's just the fact. I mean, I feel like probably the biggest star on Raw, it's either for me between Rollins or Ronda. I think they tried Ronda this week, but I think it kind of like
Ronda isn't a draw, man.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, you have Ronda and Ember Moon versus Tamina and Nia Jax. We haven't really established Tamina and Nia Jax as a huge power players yet. They just kind of seem like angry Samoans.
Well, we're running.
You know what? We'll get into Raw. We're running
into Raw. Let's get to SmackDown, which also posted the lowest number in 5 months. They brought in a 0.66 rating. It was down considerably last week. It went under 2 million viewers for the first time since July 3rd. But it ranked number 3 for the night. So it's like, yeah, it's low, but no one's fucking watching TV on Tuesday.
Yeah, so, it's wild. It's like, I watch TV. I don't hold a lot of like the ratings for SmackDown. They go either way to me. I'm just like, all right, sure. I mean, really, from it's the in this post brand split, I think probably the highest rated era is the James Ellsworth era, which is wild. It's wild to think of that he was like main eventing AJ Styles, and they actually beat Raw in terms of viewership that 1 week. So I thought that was pretty crazy, but I feel like, SmackDown's generally good show. It's just people currently aren't interested in this current season. I don't know. There's a lot of television on fall. So it's a lot of things. Like, yeah, I don't know. SmackDown.
A lot of sports too.
Yeah.
Sports. They ran head to head with some I don't think they were above any NBA game. I don't think they were below any NBA games, but it's the fucking holidays.
Yeah. I also think SmackDown could use, and as much as I love SmackDown could also use an injection of a major riveting storyline. I think a lot of things are going on.
I think it's going to take time for Becky to catch on. I think they do have the stars though.
I think it just needs to be a compelling story, though. Like, I really do feel like SmackDown also needs a compelling story. Like, a lot of things are just like, a lot of things are just wrestling, which I understand and is fantastic, which is great as well. A lot of them are just like, I'm the better wrestler than you. But then there's also the sports entertainment side and the soap opera side that Vince McMahon loves and all these other things that we're just not getting as well. I think with SmackDown, they're telling a story, but, it happens through various iterations of matches and things like that, as opposed to like we're telling a compelling tale. But maybe they're saving it for WrestleMania again. I think WWE also knows what time it is when it comes to this time of the year, and they're just like, we're saving our best for when football's off the air.
They don't got too much longer to wait, but they're going to get clapped for the foreseeable future with playoffs coming up and a lot of big games on the horizon in the NFL. So I don't think WWE should worry. I don't think they are worried. I think they understand that ratings are a literal metric that is very outdated in a lot of ways. I don't know if that reflects their audience, because as much as we harp on these ratings and they talk about why the ratings are what they are, the money's still there and the money's still getting spent. And I think they do have to worry about live events. Like, that's something that is an actual concern, because that's a lot of their revenue, and it's going down. But like TV deals, like, sure, but they gotta, like, I would not pay to see a WWE house show right now in the current state.
Well, yeah, I mean, I might go to the MSG one, but I'm not sure yet.
They got to put the two shows together for that, you know. And
actually, I don't know if they actually did. Let me see. I don't think they did. They're doing another show at, I think it's either in Uniondale or Nassau the next night, which sucks because the main event of that show is John Cena versus The Miz. And I'm just like, bruh, like, I'm not going to Long Island to see The Miz. I love The Miz, but I don't love it as much as I dislike Long Island. So, yeah, but, you know, it's just interesting. It's just, you know,
I wouldn't pay to go to a Raw house show. That's why they're declining. I think someone mentioned, like, they had an article, I think it was up on Post Wrestling, when they said, like, ticket prices for live events were, like, they range from $25 to $100 and then, like, for a family of 5, if they wanted to get that, they'd have to spend over $150 for something like 2, 3, 4 tickets. And I was like, I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think the cards suck. Like, I don't think the prices are the problem here.
All right, so on this MSG show, I don't think I'm going to go to this. The major attraction for me is the NXT Mega.
Are both shows there? Are all 3 shows there?
No, it's a Raw show.
But NXT is there.
NXT is there.
So 2 shows are there.
Kind of, yeah.
No, kind of. There's an NXT match.
There's an NXT match, sure, yeah. But 2
shows are there, yeah. 2 shows.
I guess, yeah. 2 shows are there.
There's no guess. Two.
Not SmackDown.
I said 2 shows.
You're saying it like a SmackDown was there. If I didn't tell you NXT was there, you wouldn't have known.
I said are all 3 shows there? You said no, there is NXT there though. And I said, okay, so 2 shows are there.
We'll replay the tape. But
I'll replay it for you right now. I know what I said. I said, so all 3 shows are there, right? And you said no. You said there's an NXT match there. So I said, okay, so there's 2 shows.
Okay.
And NXT's a show.
NXT has 1 match. It's the only match I'm looking forward to. It's the NXT Mega Tag Team match. Pete Dunne, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream versus Tommaso Ciampa in the Undisputed Era. It was at some point a 5-on-5 match, I think, and then they took out Gargano. I don't know. Yeah, but Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax after TLC, I do not want to see this match. I'm sure of it. Elias versus Bobby Lashley. And Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. Oh, someone screwed up on this one.
Yeah, I don't think that's a final card until
Bobby Lashley working a double Lashley. No, but then the main event is steel cage match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, which they literally had at Starrcade.
It got great reviews though, so do that match again. Do the match again all over the territory, brother.
You know what? You're right.
You ain't never seen it, so I mean, you ain't never seen it, so it's still
can't lie about that. Haven't seen that,
so it still should be good. But yeah, the ratings, don't worry about them. Don't worry about it. Alexa Bliss was cleared. I said Alexa, my Alexa turned on. She was cleared, and then she wasn't cleared this week. Mark Henry, who seems to be talking out of his ass all year about a whole bunch of shit that he don't need to be talking about, brother.
I mean, who gonna press him? Who gonna check him?
I ain't gonna press him.
He ain't losing his job. Like he's gonna be stop being Mark Henry because he's just like talking the way the man is Mark Henry could become the Joe Budden of professional wrestling if he wanted to, you know, or just a pundit.
Oh brother. Oh brother.
I heard the news of Alexa Bliss being cleared.
But then it was reported in the PWT, I believe. PW Torch. That Alexa Bliss is actually not cleared, and Mark Henry didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So she is. Right. The thing is, when they said she was cleared on Monday, everyone expected her to like be physical on Monday, and I was like, "There's nothing in this storyline that's treading to her being physical at any point, anytime soon."
So here's what I say: am I going to believe the pro wrestling torch over Mark Henry?
Yes, I would.
I'll say this: there's been various pictures on Alexa Bliss's Instagram of her at the Performance Center in the ring. So, I mean, there's one. Yeah, there's one from this week where she's obviously they're trying to see where she's at or something, but the caption says day 1, and then there's another one that says day 2. So I feel like she's at least making progress. I feel like it's going in that direction. Whether I know she's cleared or not until I see her in the ring, I don't know that she's cleared. But I think if I were to, surmise something from these photos, I would say yes, she's getting back in the ring, and she's finally getting over it. I don't know if I believe the pro wrestling torch over Mark Henry. I don't know.
You just basically said that you did.
No, I said that I hold on.
No, you basically said you agreed with them.
No.
You didn't say she was cleared.
I didn't say she was cleared, but I didn't say she was not cleared. I didn't say she was not cleared.
You just basically...
PW Torch said, no, I didn't basically say it. PW Torch said she was not cleared, and I'm like, you can't even prove that.
She's not cleared, though.
How do you know?
I know she's not cleared.
How do you know?
You want me to...
No.
I mean, like, she's not cleared.
I mean, if you know that she's not cleared and you have reputable sources, then I'd rather believe that. But in terms of that, I'm looking at the pictures. If I had to surmise that she was...
Well, here's the thing. But just because she hasn't passed... Just because she hasn't passed
the impact test?
Past impact testing, yes. That doesn't mean that they don't allow her to train. They just don't allow her to have actual matches. Like, the Performance Center... Like, when Alistair wasn't cleared because of his groin injury, when I went to Orlando, he was still training. He was still doing stuff there. He wasn't cleared, though.
I don't know if yeah.
No, I mean, it's clear. She's not cleared. Like, PW Torch wasn't wrong here that she's not cleared.
I mean, if you say so.
What? I'm saying
I don't know.
Are you just trying to argue? Like,
no, I'm not trying to argue. There's there hasn't been anything to prove either way or either or.
The proof is she's training for a comeback, but she is not cleared.
Says who?
Says the pictures.
That's not what the pictures say.
The pictures say she's training for a comeback.
Yes. The pictures does not say she's not cleared.
But you know the rules, Meelz. If she's not cleared, she's not in the ring wrestling and having actual practice matches.
These are two pictures. How do we know? That's all I'm asking. How do we know? This is a wild thing to argue about, but it's just like, how do we know? I need actual proof. That's what I'm saying. I need actual proof. Like, unless WWE says she's not cleared, then she's not cleared. I don't.
PCO and Brody King signed to ROH last week. PCO, the former Pierre Carolette, who was part of the Quebecers in the WWF, has made quite a name on the Indies over the past year. He made had that crazy match with Walter over WrestleMania weekend, I believe. And he's just an insanely buff dude that literally kills himself to do everything. Did a couple shots at MLW. I believe a lot of people thought he was going to stay in MLW, but ROH picked him up. And they also picked up Brody King, who I've seen a couple of times on the Indies. I saw him at PWG more recently. He's shown flashes to me that he could be a really good big man. I'm wondering how ROH will cultivate his act into something that is kind of like that will make money for them. But I think the bigger question here is like, how did ROH have all these people and they just ended up with these two at the end of the year? Like, they could be losing the Young Bucks. They could be losing, or they definitely lost Cody. He's gone. And all these people in being the elite, they've lost them all. Marty Scurll could be leaving as well. Mm-hmm. How did they lose all these people? And this is the third year in a row this has happened. They lost the Hardys one year. Then they lost Ciampa in 1 year. They lost Keith Lee. They lost a lot of people within the past couple of years, and it always happens at the same time. And it's like, I have no clue how ROH keeps letting people get the drop on them like this, and they're not signing anyone even close. Like NXT tonight, Punishment Martinez made his debut. That was another guy that was there last year and is gone. It's insane. It's insane.
Pretty good last night. But yes, it's looking weird for ROH. But you know what?
They were number 2 company for a while, and that right now it's like they're like number 4, like behind MLW.
But I just feel like the gap is just because of WWE. The gap between them and everyone else just continues to grow. Like, I feel like the gap but yeah, it looks like they're in trouble. I think they've been in a low. I think they've been in a low for a very, very long time. I think they haven't. They've allowed several different independent, companies to surpass them in terms of having dynamic stars and featured a lot of great stars. And it may be because of the business that they have themselves. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not looking great for ROH. I would love to see another ROH boom, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think,
It's spooky. It's really spooky for ROH.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to die, but like, it's just not interesting, And it hasn't been insanely interesting for a very long time.
Absolutely. I'm not even to put you on blast. I'm pretty sure you haven't watched the ROH pay-per-view in fucking years.
When did I watch an ROH pay-per-view?
Don't even hurt your brain.
I feel like Cedric Alexander was on it and he was fat. So I think that was
2
the
years
last
ago.
time. Yeah, I think that was the last time I saw one.
Yeah. It's scary. I just don't get how they could make all of these, cultivate all these stars, and now when it's more important than anything, they had that relationship with New Japan and they had a relationship with the Elite, and they still have a working relationship with CMLL, which I think they need to bear down and focus on next year, because I feel like New Japan's gonna fuck off next year on them and really go and do their own shit. So ROH is very, 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 very in dire straits. I'd say they're like, I don't know what they're gonna do next year. Like PCO versus Matt Taven, I'm good.
I think they need better. They need better management in terms of people who recruit stars. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's obviously, and it's not to say that, the people that they've just, signed to ROH aren't bad, but I just feel like they generally need, it's kind of like when a company's losing money, they hire someone who's negotiations, a liaison to be able to acquire money from various sources and things like that. But I do think they need that as well. I think just in general, they need someone who's a name, who is savvy within the business, who is kind of young, but also maybe a little bit between generations of the old and new, and able to acquire stars. I feel like a relations guy or something like that. Like just someone new like that.
Meelz.
No, but I would be terrible at running ROH. You would probably be better for that.
They don't need me. I would never hire another Elite member.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's ROH. And actually, if you love ROH, you should definitely be watching out for spot callers in the next couple of weeks.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Let's talk about, also quick 2 things I want to talk about. WrestleMania weekend in New York City.
Yes.
It is looking insane. It is looking very good. It's looking good. It's very lively. If you're a wrestling fan. I don't think it'll be as quaint as like a New Orleans or a where were they at last year? It was at New Orleans, right?
It was in New Orleans.
yeah.
Florida.
Florida. I don't think it'll be as quaint as those in terms of just like everything is just like centralized, because New York City is like, it's 5 boroughs. It's a little
sprawling.
Bit. Yeah, it's spread out. So it's not going to be like, oh, I see people, on Bourbon Street and just like, oh, everyone's lit. No, it's not happening that way. Everyone is going to be everywhere at several different times.
Whoa. We lost 5 minutes of our conversation because we were in a haunted Google Hangouts.
Don't show them the secrets.
We're in a haunted Google Hangouts room. We moved to another room that's less haunted with the ghost of Christmas past. Hopefully we can finish the show without any more technical difficulties. But we were talking about NXT.
Yeah, we were talking about NXT moving to Friday, especially on WrestleMania weekend. I want to talk about NXT a little bit this week, though.
Yeah, go ahead. I haven't seen the show, so like but I know the spoilers, so go ahead.
I mean, Punishment Martinez debuted. He's up against God, how did I forget his name already?
Matt Riddle?
Matt Riddle, bro guy.
Bro God. Like he's from Chicago.
Listen, all these white guys look the same.
Wow.
No one will be offended by that. Listen, but yes, we had that. I thought that was a great opener, and it led to a great interaction between Cassius Ohno and Matt Riddle, which is a thing that's continuing to go on.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. There's no room for him at the top right now. Yeah,
they've somehow dedicated time to Heavy Machinery, which is like either they're being called up or like
I think it's time for them. Honestly, I don't hate them.
I dislike them strongly.
You don't like big guy tag teams, though.
No, that's not the case. I think they're corny. You don't like
War Machine either.
War Machine is also corny. They're both corny gimmicks.
You don't like big guy tag teams.
I don't mind AOP. I don't like AOP, but I don't mind them. These two, Heavy Machinery, I mind. I mind if they're on because they're idiots.
You are a weird little man.
They're idiots who are apparently they're 6 months undefeated. News to me, according to NXT, and they're lined up for tag team title shots in the future. They also started qualifying matches for the women's Fatal 4-Way.
And Bianca's already qualified.
She's already qualified. She qualified off screen. That's the type of progression that NXT does. It's new. It's innovative. A great tag team match actually, no, it's not a great tag team match. I like the tag team of Raul Mendoza and I'm trying to figure out his name. Humberto Carrillo. Okay. I like they're a great tag team. Lots of flips. Lots of very impressive stuff. We got a Velveteen thing. I don't want to spoil too much. Oh, we got a great Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler. We got to see the four horsewomen kind of in their element, but I think it's a great. I think this series of matches between Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler is just great for both of them. I feel like it's a reminder constantly of like the progression of Dakota Kai and the badassery of Shayna Baszler.
I like that they're moving away from Io, or not Io, but Kyrie. But obviously Kyrie is
she got hand, neck, skin,
hand, foot, and mouth disease.
She got one of those, and then a great closing segment. We usually don't get promos from time to time you get a promo to close the show, but not anything that's riveting where you kind of see, the three guys who've been in the title contention team for the last 4 months or
a year.
There.
I just saw that. What's that? Bullet Club Ital. Is that the guy who does the recaps on Twitter?
Yes.
Last week, it was the year anniversary of when Johnny Gargano won that Fatal 4-Way match. He pinned Alistair to win that match, and he got the title shot against Almas, I believe, or it was Almas in January. It's been a year.
It's been a year. Well, listen, dude, NXT moves in a different wavelength. NXT moves by quarter years.
There ain't never been no feud that's lasted a year in NXT. Ever.
Well, yes. Until now. But you know what? NXT, I like the show this week. I'll say that.
I can't wait to watch.
The first shows back are usually pretty good because it's kind of like a fresh breath of air.
What I saw in the spoilers, though, it seemed like this was kind of like set up, and it was also like setting the pieces, and the next tapings will be something actually proper happening. The last match in this tapings, which I won't spoil, it's going to be very wild. I think a lot of people are going to be very mad.
Well, I think they've hinted towards it. They've hinted towards on the show. They hint towards a steel cage.
Yes.
So, we will see. We will see.
Oh boy, I cannot wait to see the reactions to that last segment on that last taping.
It's going to be a high rated show. I know that for sure.
We want to get into Raw?
Yeah, let's get into Raw.
Let's get into Raw before this room haunts our voices again.
This is the ghost of Phil Brooks.
Raw, better show this week, I thought.
Not
a good show, better show.
I don't even remember Raw last week because the thing that I booked was just in my mind.
Well, here's the thing that's funny about what you booked. A lot of the shit that you booked is like kind of happening in different ways.
Yeah, well, I don't want to attribute it to me.
Almost as if, Natalia definitely died.
Natalia died. Well, listen, I don't want to attribute it to me. Maybe I'm just someone who pays attention to a lot of the signs, but I could not predict Natalia dying like the way she died on Monday.
They shield bombed her.
Well, can we also talk about the lack of care? She walked to the back. Like usually there's like
if in your booking, would she have walked to the back? It would have been a stretcher.
No, yeah, it would have been a stretcher job. They literally, she gets thrown through a table. She looks in pain. That looked like it hurt. I'll be honest with you, because it kind of like through the table, smack dab on the floor. It looked like kind of the wind rush out of her. I don't know if that's right or not, but it looked like it actually did hurt from her facial expressions. But then the next segment, she's like limping to the back, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is this like a GTA scene where you just flee the scene of a crime and you're like limping and like?
It was weird. It was very weird. The Riot Squad got back involved, which I thought, we all thought they pretty much had ended that feud. But they're back in the mix in some way, shape, or form. That's a group that's aimless on the show. Honestly,
I heard it was something to write Natalia off. I heard Natalia is injured.
Yes, she is. She is injured. Has an elbow injury.
What a great timing! It's
they're dropping like flies, man. They're dropping like flies, and to have her be written off, you have to make another face, or you have to have somebody go up. So main event Ember went up to the main event.
We might as well talk about the main event because the main event.
It was a thing.
It just happened.
It was a thing that happened. Yeah.
I don't even think Ronda and Ember have said 3 words to one another. They don't look like they hang out. They don't look like they don't even look like a genuine. It didn't seem like a like fantasy tag team that they would probably have hoped.
Well, nothing that Ember has done lately has made her even in contention of anything being a fantasy anything. I think that like they need to heat her up in order, if they're going to do that, they just kind of called her out and was just like, sorry.
She got beat up by the 2 Samoans for the past couple of weeks. So yeah.
But the match itself was just pure garbage. I'm sorry. Like Nia Jax might be, I put her in my top 5 worst wrestlers of the year.
Yeah.
She's bad. We always knew Tamina was bad. We always knew that.
Tamina's consistently bad.
She's always on the list.
You can set your watch to that.
There are so many women of her stature and size that they could do shit with. You know what I'm saying? And like Nia just ever since you said this shit, Meelz, I've never been able to unsee it. Like it just doesn't seem like she gives a fuck about anything she does out there.
It's a
promo, in ring, anything. She just seems like
she doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe it. I think when they give her material, but it's a thing like in professional wrestling. No matter what they give you, you work with it and you make it your own. When she screamed
this week, dog. Get the fuck out of here with that. That was jarring. It almost broke my speakers.
That's
a weird promo.
Last week I said maybe they should try something with the women, just because there's no major draw, just something different in the main event. And it was a main event with the women, but I think they could have done better. I think this tag team match is not what people want to see or anything like that. I feel like maybe we should have got, I don't know. Try something.
Don't waste Ronda like that. That's my problem. You won't waste her like that.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't put Brock in that situation, and don't do it to her. Well, not that she should be Brock, but it's like, don't put like a major chip like that. Like have her squash Tamina. Like, why are we building Tamina to be a world killer now?
Because it's the same thing when they used to build, what's his face?
Big Show?
No, but yes, they definitely would do that. What was I thinking of? I was thinking older. He was in WCW. He was in. Let's see if you can guess this wrestler because I'm drawing a blank.
They would build him up.
He was in Remember, he was also in WWE. Oh, Haku. Boom. Remember Haku in WCW?
Yeah.
They would like build him up from time to time so Hogan could beat him up again.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're doing here.
It's not working for me. I don't think it's working. That main event was a really bad main event. I think that there's nothing that makes me want to see this Nia Jax Ronda Rousey match. I think they need to like just get it over with. 2-minute match. Fuck it. I don't think it's going to be a good match.
I think yeah.
Ronda works. She works as well as her competition, and I don't think her competition here is good.
I think Ronda works a little bit. I'd say she's good. I'd definitely say that she's good. I just feel like there's no help. There's no help. If she was in with anyone else, I guess maybe you're right.
You tried to argue.
There's just no help. No, it's just like I feel like I wouldn't say that she works towards her competition, but it's just like because I feel like she does give amazing effort every time she's in the ring. But when you're in against Nia Jax and Tamina, it's tough. On the main event of Raw, I mean, that's a big platform. That's a major moment for Ember Moon, for Tamina, for Nia Jax. Ronda's been there before, but it's like a major thing to have like a women tag team main event closing Raw. Raw's over. It's done at the end of this. And it just didn't come out really good.
Yeah, thumbs down on that main event for me. One thing I did actually like on the show was Finn Balor being very active in the show. I think they've cleared the depth chart if they have Finn Balor. Like Finn Balor,
multiple segments.
Yeah, I've never seen Finn Balor so much on this show before in my life.
The man, it was a tale of Monday night. The man, he showed up. He saved Elias.
Weird. Saved Dolph Ziggler.
Saved Dolph Ziggler.
Weird.
And then had a match against Jinder.
Won the match.
Won the match. And then,
got clapped. And then he got clapped.
Because
backstage.
Drew McIntyre is the shooter. And, he got bodied. It was a tale. It was like, that would normally be like 8 weeks of Raw booking that they did for Finn Balor in one night.
I don't think he was even ever in threat of not being hot. I think he's still a very popular character. Obviously, he's one of the most over characters they have as a face. But I like the progression of his character this week. I know it came out of nowhere, but again, just like when Roman went down, I can't blame them for how fast they did this. They had to. They have no one else to go to, especially if Braun's off the show. No word on if Braun will actually be on the show either. That was just it was a main thread through the show that they're just kind of joking about it. But I'm like we said last week, if he's not going to be on the show, and this, cut him from the fucking match. That doesn't make any sense. Why they're still promoting this match.
We'll see on the Go Home Raw should be interesting. I mean, Go Home Raw is next week, I believe.
Yep, next week.
So
But speaking of Drew McIntyre, they had a complete. He had what, like 30 minutes of screen time this week, all around Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night,
which was weird. Yeah,
it was very weird.
What? Why?
If you would have told me 8 years ago when he left WWE, or 9 years ago when he left WWE, that he would be in this position, I would have fucking laughed in your face. But I'm happy for the guy. I'm really happy that he's actually getting these types of segments. It was a weird thing to do, but I actually did like the segment. I liked his promo a lot.
Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night.
I appreciate him.
This is where we're at in 2018.
What's wrong with that?
A Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night?
There's nothing wrong with that.
A Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night.
I fail to see the problem here.
That is the best we can do on Monday night.
What would you do better?
I wouldn't. That is the best we can do on Monday night. I literally said it. But it's still like jarring to me.
Why?
Because usually those appreciation nights, you have a Stone Cold Appreciation Night, a Triple H Appreciation Night, someone who's just like, someone of that capacity. A Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night. That is, for me, it's just...
He's a top heel.
It is something I expect from Impact Wrestling. I'll just say that.
He's a top heel. He's been built.
Yeah, I guess like a de facto top heel. Yeah,
it's also Baron Corbin being a jackass. That's part of the story. There.
This is true. I would have understood a Baron Corbin Appreciation Night. I don't know.
He's trying to curry favor with the people, especially the heels on Raw.
This is true. This is all that I wrote. It's all prophecy.
Yeah. So I no problems with the It is jarring, but I had no problems with the actual segment, which was actually
no.
good.
I didn't have problems with the segment. I like the Dolph interaction.
I guess that team's broken up. It's a couple weeks late. I felt they should have done this like 3 weeks ago, but I really like the match they had as well. The match they had was really, really good. Dolph can make anybody look very good. Drew continuing his ascent towards the top of the card. Finn Balor though was the one who helped Dolph Ziggler, who they've been clapping him for most of 2018. Yeah, helped him win the match. So Drew has had his first singles loss to Dolph Ziggler. I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like it should have been to a Finn. But sure, whatever. Why not? Why not have it be Dolph?
It doesn't matter at this point.
It wasn't clean either, so I guess whatever.
Yeah. I'll say that.
It wasn't clean. What do you think about the Finn Balor Drew McIntyre match going into TLC? Do you think that we see the Demon, perhaps, or you think that this is just another match so Drew can? Because my thing is, if you beat Finn there, when he gets the title, who is he facing? Like, if he beat all the faces,
I don't know. I hope we see the Demon, because otherwise this is a match that will probably happen the following night on Raw. Like the real, literally TLC rematch on Monday night. Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre. Like that's what I'm picturing it in my head right now. So I really hope the Demon eventually does show up, because we need more. Drew McIntyre's been on a tear. Even with Drew McIntyre beating the hell out of Finn Balor, to me, that's an indication that we could see Demon at TLC.
I really do think it's possible that we'll see the Demon. If not now, we'll see it at the Royal Rumble for sure. Dean Ambrose is tired of you dirty motherfuckers. Whew. He's tired. He is sick and tired of you dirty people.
But all right, so I feel like this year has been a jarring year in WWE of like turning, like, ever since Sami Zayn last year at Hell in a Cell, we've just been like turning these incredibly beloved faces heel and just giving them these wild gimmicks. So to me, this is like a tale of two heels on Raw and SmackDown, because this week we got like the full presentation of whatever Dean Ambrose is post the heel turn.
I'm interested.
And then SmackDown was Daniel Bryan, and we'll get to that. But it's just like,
what did you think? I'm curious as to what you thought of his promo here.
It's not that it was bad. It was just that, I don't know. I just think he's crazy. He's a lunatic.
What did you think of this is his character? What do you think of the character going forward now? He's like, I love this. I love how sleazy he is. I love that he's germaphobe, but now he's got the new jacket, which I really like. And
he needs a bionic arm or some shit like that. Like, that's how I feel. Like, he's just like, he's just like this weird, like, supervillain type of archetype. Like a Spider-Man. You remember the Spider-Man, the Homecoming, whatever it is? Or
the Vulture.
Yeah. Something like that. Like, he's one of those villains. Like,
I don't know if he's gonna get that. I don't know if they got the budget for that.
No, obviously not. But he's just, to me, he looks like one of those villains. He looks like a villain archetype. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's way more like modern than most stuff WWE does. The jacket, I like.
Two very different environmentalist gimmicks, also.
Oh yeah, one hates smells. Smells terrible. I want to see Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan at TLC
interact. I just want to see them interact. I don't want to see them wrestle. I just want to see them interact.
And I think they'll still hate each other, because obviously one thinks they're still higher than thou of the other. But yeah,
I think they get along. I think Daniel Bryan would ask him for a gas mask.
I think Dean Ambrose would ask Daniel Bryan for a large steak. And then all hell will break loose.
Oh my God! I like the promo.
I like the segment. I like the back and forth. I like the physicality of it all. It kind of seems like, the direction where they should be going.
I'm of the mind that I get that Dean keeps getting the upper hand on Seth. I am also of the mind that, hey, get the IC title off of Seth. I don't think he needs it anymore.
I think, what we need? Let's get to the match. Let's That's what we need. We just need the match.
Well, I think we'll be seeing this match a lot.
Yeah, I think we need the match. Literally, I think it's literally just like all this is going on and we're into it, but we're all waiting for the match.
It's going to be good. These two are capable of having a bad match.
100%.
So I think it's going to be great. But once again, Seth Rollins came out to confront Dean. Dean got the one up on Seth. Really good segment. I loved the security coming out with him. I love the gas mask. I love the look. If this was, like Meelz said, this is kind of like a submission statement, I'm feeling the character. A couple of weeks ago, we were kind of like unsure of what it was, like the car, the stuff with the car and the burning stuff, and the Roman Reigns line and stuff like that. They've kind of reeled it back, which they've been known to do. They did it with Becky, and now he's saying that Roman and Seth are sellouts, and they're the ones who sold everything out and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, now I get it. I see where he's going. I really enjoyed that segment. Anything else on Raw other than the Revival getting beat up by 3 people again this week?
So I heard Rhino's legit retired now.
It's legit retired.
That's what I heard. I don't know where.
From PWT or Mark Henry?
If I told you Mark Henry, would you believe me?
No.
Okay, it's definitely not from Mark Henry. I think I read it somewhere on a news article that is featured on one of the best wrestling aggregator websites, thedailysmark.com. So I definitely read.
Shout out. I'll believe anything from them.
Yeah, this or anything they aggregate over there. So yeah, I think I heard that. Like, this is Rhino's legit done. That's what I heard. But if we see him at a House of Hardcore show next year, I'll still believe that too.
My nigga, I need more Rhino.
Oh, all right.
I don't think anything else happened on Raw.
No, not really. No.
So let's move on to a stellar episode of SmackDown. Is Daniel Bryan the best heel in the E? Can we just go ahead and say that? He's better than Ciampa. He's better than Ciampa.
Yeah.
Better than Gargano.
It's a lot to take in, To me, there's an evil part of him. Then he's throwing in vegan. Then he's throwing in. It's like everyone's saying it's like this, this Kurt Cobain, Daniel Bryan, Brian
Danielson.
Brian Danielson. Kind of. I think there was one more people were talking about just being thrown into this mix, but it's a strong character. I feel like, well, first of all, if we do not start the show with him talking about he needs his daughter to be kicking tens of thousands of men in the groin, I don't want to be on the show after next week, because that was a great soundbite. Like, and shut up, Byron. I love it. And telling Byron, like, I bet you eat chicken. I bet you love chicken, or something like that. And I was like, bro, all right.
Well, we're getting a little too meta here, Brian. You gotta
Chicken is delicious. Don't get me wrong, but you
haven't had Meelz' chicken yet, brother.
Couldn't tell him. You ain't say it at the time. I'll tell you that.
Wow. Hold on. What were we saying about Brian here?
Listen, I'm just saying, big heel.
The Miz TV segment was actually interesting in a way that I think is very cool and kind of understated, in that they actually got the crowd to boo Brian and cheer Miz for the first time ever. And to me, this is, Sammy's turn didn't really it got met with apathy.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that nobody cared.
Yeah.
And the difference with Brian is that within a week, you have him take out AJ Styles. But then you have him go against Brock, which is cool. Of course, they were still going to get there. He was going to get that reaction anyway. Right. But then you have him against Miz, and it's like, wait a minute, Miz was right.
Well, here's the thing. The difference between the Daniel Bryan one and Sami Zayn one, Daniel Bryan won the title. So, it makes sense, and it was perfect, and it definitely wasn't all for naught. It was meant. He did it for a purpose, and he accomplished that. Sami Zayn never won anything. Sami Zayn was a heel and continued to lose to AJ Styles, even though the odds were against AJ Styles to win. So with this Daniel Bryan thing, it's just it all works out. I think the segment, the Miz TV, you know how I feel about Miz TV segments.
No, don't, because
riveting television.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I think just in general, just that the Miz was right. They've done this before where it's not like the Miz is kind of like teetering. He's face heel, depends on the night, depends on the hour, depends on the segment. But they still acknowledge that both of them 100% hate each other still.
Yeah, they do. And I love that too. I really did love that too. Because, when you have heels, I expected Bryan to say, you know what? I finally see the light, and they shake hands. Yeah. I'm so glad they didn't do that with this.
Yeah.
You keep that open.
100%. Daniel Bryan was like, you were right. And no, you were not right. And this is why. Like, blah, blah, blah. And calling the crowd fickle, I love it.
Oh, the how you shut down the what chant? Insanity. You didn't hear another what chant the whole night.
Listen, way to make thousands of people feel like dumbasses.
Loved it. One more thing I did love before we get to the actual main event of the show. I loved him taking the side plates off of the belt, off of the title.
Who knew they were that easy? Yeah, who knew they were that easy to come off? Just pop right off.
Were they in his pocket the whole time, or did he take them off there? Because they're screwed in.
I don't remember.
I think they were in his pocket the whole time, because he takes them out of his pocket to show Miz. And I don't think he tosses them, but he takes them out. But that leads to AJ Styles coming out dressed like the Green Lantern, and it leads to a Miz AJ Styles match, because Miz gets involved in AJ trying to get to Bryan. It leads to Miz AJ, which was actually a really good match. They have really good chemistry. I enjoyed the main event. And leads to Bryan beating his fucking ass for about 5 minutes until the show goes off.
Getting stomped out by a man in a cardigan is not how I want to go out.
Dog, not only that, he stomped his face, did a lap around the ring, and did it again. I love Daniel Bryan.
With his like environmentally health, probably hemp-based shirt or whatever, it's everything.
See why Daniel Bryan be green?
It's everything that CJ Parker wanted to be, but they would not allow him.
And now look at him. Now look at him in New Japan losing a lot, losing just like he did at NXT.
Oh my God!
Really love that segment though. I think if there's anything to take away from SmackDown, I think that's what you should watch. Another really good segment on the show, the opening segment between Asuka, Becky, and Charlotte, I thought was really, really good. You had the three women for a contract signing. Becky, of course, coming out first and trading some bars with Charlotte. But really what surprised me was Asuka, who really did her thing here.
I think Becky reeled back. I feel like
what do you mean?
I think she's not coming with like, on Twitter, she's kind of like, damn. Like, it's not the same here, which I get because obviously she has people writing for her. But I kind of wish she would write herself. Because
she wasn't writing herself before.
I know. That I'm just saying I kind of wish she would write herself, because it's kind of just like, I think Charlotte takes a little bit some of the attention as well. Asuka does. It's kind of like a 3 different thing. It's kind of like.
Did you hear her pop though when she came out?
Of course I heard a pop. People are going to pop for Becky nonetheless. I just feel like it's my only, I love the Becky Lynch character. I love everything like that. I just wish it would be she would be a lot more strict with her character, kind of like the way Stone Cold was. That's all I wish.
Ain't nobody going to do that. No one's going to be able to do that anymore.
I mean, yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah, like she's not going to, you're talking about Stone Cold, the guy who didn't lose for a year.
No, I mean, not that. I'm not talking about wins and losses. I'm like, there are certain things that Stone Cold would not let happen. I just wish it was something like that with Becky. But
I'm lost on what she said this week that was out of character.
No, there's nothing sort of out. It was kind of like if it's just, I don't know. It's a general feeling that she's kind of like falling into like.
This is the first time hearing of this. That's why I'm like.
I understand, but it's just like I feel. Well, I don't know. I've always kind of thought of it, but I just feel like she's falling into like the pattern, the regular thing. Whereas what made her a sort of star was her breaking against the mold and saying the things that needed to be said and getting everyone hot and stuff like that. So maybe it was just this one segment. Who knows? But I just feel like, I don't want her to fall into the regular, like, we start coming out, we just cheer her for the sake of cheering her. I want her to have something special attached to it.
Keep watching. Keep watching. I think this was clearly a segment to get Asuka hot. And I think it worked. And I think the segment after with Charlotte and Asuka teaming against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, incredibly, I usually will shit on someone losing to someone I would usually shit on like someone that's supposed to be a number one contender losing on TV, but it worked out well here. I thought it was great having Asuka and Charlotte literally just fighting each other in the match and causing each other to stumble, and then Asuka coming back and costing Charlotte the match. I love Asuka's facials when she did it. When she's like, I don't know what happened. And I thought Sonya and Mandy looked incredibly good in this match as well. I know I'm very hard on them, but they did really, really well in this match. And I really thought just for this week, it worked. It actually did work for me, this whole three-way thing. But next week, Asuka versus Charlotte rematch. I don't think it's gonna have a clean finish. I
don't think so either.
It's definitely not gonna have a clean finish. Would you be mad if there was? I would not have. I don't think they want to beat those. Well, who do you think that I think would win? Like, who do you think I think would win? Like, I'd probably say that if it was on TV, I'd have Asuka win and heat her up.
Yeah.
But you don't want to give that one away on TV.
This is true.
So, I mean, and how much time are you really giving them? Because this is a main event for sure.
I would give them the time. I would give them the time.
Plus commercials will probably only see like 15 minutes of that match.
I'll give them 2 commercial breaks. I would really do.
I think the picture-in-picture one?
Yeah. No, not one of those cheap ones. You gotta have
I hate the picture-in-picture ones. I never pay attention to the match.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if they did clean. It just doesn't seem right for them to do clean. I think it'll probably be some shit like Becky walks down and distracts one of them or something like that.
Charlotte tries to pull out a kendo stick, tries to beat her like she did with Ronda. Becky comes down, gets pie face or something, and then Asuka kicks Becky and blah blah blah. Some crazy shit like that.
I think it'll be a great match. I think once again, I mean, these two had a match of the year contender in April, but I'm very excited for next week because that's a big time match, and a lot of people are shitting on it, but it's like, what the fuck else are you gonna do?
In terms of just like me looking at low ratings, this is a match that's it's definitely an attraction. I also think it's an interesting dynamic from earlier in the year, considering that Charlotte was a face. In the previous match, she was a lot more scrappy. And then as a heel, it'll be interesting to see the approach that she takes in this match. Especially, I guess Asuka would be the one working from under in this sort of situation.
Yeah, instead of like in the last match, they were just kind of trading blows. Like they were beating the shit out of each other in the last match.
So I'm interested.
Very interested. Rusev, that promo, man, it's a really good promo. I loved it.
He's a funny guy. Funny guy. Yeah, I've always felt like he was a funny guy, even with his facial expressions when he would sell, the comments he would make on Twitter. I just feel like he's a funny guy. I think he's becoming a lot more loose with his character, which is good. And then that sometimes is an indicator that it's like, when there isn't a definitive direction, it's just like, do people care or do people not? But then it's also like your ability to connect as well.
He's one of the few faces, I think, on the mid card, period, on either show, that people care about whatever he does. And that's hard to do.
Yeah. I think the Rusev Day thing has died down. I think it died with the Aiden English thing.
Who is not gone and never to be seen again.
Yeah, I mean, might as well be featured in Deborah at this point.
Oh my god!
It's I think Rusev Day was a hot. It was a moment. But yeah, I'm interested.
I wasn't as high on as everybody else, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a moment. Interested to see.
I love him being paired with Nakamura because it's someone that they have really good chemistry anyway.
He's had a lot of U.S. title matches this year, I feel like.
In his career, bro, he only had one WWE title opportunity, and that was with AJ.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know.
That's his belt. Would you have him beat Nakamura? I don't think I'd have him beat Nakamura. I'd have him beat Rey. I'd have Rey Mysterio beat Nakamura, who we haven't seen Rey in like what?
Yeah, I would probably have Nakamura win. Nakamura,
where is Rey?
Absent. Where's Nakamura?
Well, you already know he only worked like once a month. Well, where's Rey?
Rey, where are they at? Texas.
That's weird.
He was just hanging with the troops, man. He was just hanging with the troops.
Speaking of matches, speaking of high flyers and shit, can we stop booking Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton matches? Like, can we please stop?
I think we have to at this point.
I'm so tired of these fucking matches, but we did get something good out of it. We got a Samoa Joe promo. Listen, can someone just put their hands to him or put the guns to him? Because he's really disrespectful.
Talk about it. You know what? It's very weird. I meant to watch this promo. I did not see it. I think I was watching the Challenge reunion at the same time.
So my God.
Actual promo. But please.
Don't tell people that.
First of all, the Challenge is an amazing show. All right? Don't disrespect the Challenge.
Don't admit that you missed it because you watched the Challenge, though.
Dolph Ziggler was hosting the Challenge reunion also, by the way. Shout out to The Miz lending his bag to Dolph Ziggler.
That's life after wrestling talk. So I think we already know where he's going.
And he was great. He was great. The man did it. He was on point.
Did his homework?
He did his homework. He was talking about all the Johnny Bananas and the CTs and all this other stuff. The man, he did a good job. He did a good job. But what did Joe say?
Joe reporting live from a bar, talking about drinking in moderation and obviously shots at Jeff Hardy. Just a complete shit-eating grin and just the great delivery of Samoa Joe. He's able to but kind of employ so many different cadences to his character as far as his promos. Because I mean, my thing with Joe is like, even if he's in ring, he's not where he used to be. He might be hurt more than he used to. He can still deliver promo-wise, and he delivered a really great pre-tape that led to Jeff Hardy getting RKO'd into the stratosphere and beaten by Randy Orton. But I really love this promo. Even just the stuff with AJ Styles and now with Hardy, it's hard hitting shit that's very personal. But I love Joe being the cerebral kind of heel that they have portrayed him as, because it allows him to do a lot with just a little, and it allows his voice to carry a lot of the programs that he's in. So it's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really, really good. I think the last thing that's on the docket for SmackDown was that 3-way between the New Day, Bar, and the Usos, the triple threat match, which I thought was, again, phenomenal. Cesaro is unreal with the giant swing with Xavier on his fucking shoulders. Unreal.
Cesaro's cool, man. Cesaro's all. I just needed a reminder. That's all.
Yeah, every couple months, you got to remind you he's the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
That's all.
Coolest motherfucker on the planet. But great episode of SmackDown. I think if there's any choice of the two shows that you might want to YouTube or Hulu, I would watch the full 2 hours of SmackDown. I was compelled the whole way through.
One more tidbit. It looks like we're reaching the finals of this mixed match challenge thing.
I've watched zero of it.
I think I've also watched maybe like 1% of it. Next week in the playoffs. The semifinals, wherever you're at, it will be Finn Balor and Bayley going up against Jesus Christ. Now I forgot the other tag team. On the SmackDown side, it will be the Miz and Asuka versus Carmella and R-Truth, which is wild. How Carmella and R-Truth beat Jeff Hardy and Charlotte, crazy. Next week will be Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox
versus Finn and
God dang it.
What?
Finn Balor and Jinder Mahal again?
They have very good chemistry, brother.
I guess so. It'll be, to me, the finals looking like it's not. It
can't be Finn.
It's gonna be Jinder and Alicia versus R-Truth and Carmella. They're the only ones not. The finals take place at the TLC pay-per-view.
Yeah, I know, and I wouldn't have Charlotte or Finn do double duty that night. So,
and you can't have Asuka do double duty in the ladder match either. So it looks like we're gonna get Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox versus R-Truth and Carmella. Mind you, the winner gets a vacation and the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble.
To this, like, I have no clue where they're gonna go. I'm just gonna wait and see what the fuck happens, and we'll talk about it then. It's a weird. I feel like they waited too. They didn't wait. They not waited too long, but they did this too soon.
Yeah, you know, like, probably like, what is going on here? What are we doing? We gave you guys television. We gave you money. Give us TV. Like,
it's insane. I really don't know. Like, because here's the thing. Okay, Bayley wins number 30. You think she's winning the whole thing? Fuck no. Fuck no.
Listen, Alicia Fox wins number 30.
Kill me now.
Yeah. A gender and Alicia Fox. You know what? I don't want to think about it. It'll probably be on a kickoff show no matter what it happens. Kickoff show no matter what.
But yeah, that was the week in wrestling, I believe. Meelz, anything else that you want to bring up?
No.
All right. So for this week on the A Show, we are barreling close to the end of the year, but luckily we have one more episode before our year-end show, which funny how that works out. It'll be the TLC Go Home show. So of course, as we do every time with a new pay-per-view coming on that Sunday, we will be parlaying the reviews for Raw and SmackDown and going into our predictions, which everyone loves our predictions. So we'll have our TLC prediction show as well as No Holds Barred. And we'll probably be able to tell you a little bit more about the year-end shows that are coming up the week after that. So tune into the A Show next week. As always, you also have to check out our playlist on RNC Radio Live. We just released our year-end playlist for RNC Radio and for the R&B in RNC. They're blowing up, man. They're blowing the fuck up.
Appreciate everyone who subscribed to them.
Yes, and appreciate Mark, who did these really, really groovy videos, hype videos for them. They fucking are amazing. So shout out to Mark for doing those for us. We also have a new episode of Spot Callers. It should be coming imminently. We're going to be watching the show pretty soon. So watch out for that. RSBN, of course, is there. The funniest fucking sports show in the world was live this week. And we also have a new episode of RAOP Gaming, the final episode of 2018, with myself and Ampavelli talking about Red Dead Redemption's online beta and a variety of other topics. I really enjoyed being on that show. So shout out to Amp. And man, RNC is starting to kind of wind down into 2018. Meelz, how have you felt about this year in RNC? It's 1 year. We're almost 1 year old.
8 different shows, man. I think it speaks for itself.
Crazy. How was Two Belts, by the way?
Two Belts was great. All right. I'll say this. I definitely do have to go currently.
All right.
So we have to wrap up. But Two Belts is great. Stay subscribed to Two Belts. Trust me. Our end of the year thing is going to be fantastic as well. So yes.
Tune in to that. And as always, follow us at RNC Radio Live. Follow me at OGJohnny5 and Meelz at MEELZ TV. Until next time, hopefully no technical difficulties on the A Show. See you next time. Peace.
Happy Rusev Day.